I hold in my hands here because I still get the newspaper on my driveway, the Orlando Sentinel.
You walk down in your bathrobe like Tony Soprano?
George Diaz decided to talk to Phil Rollins, and holding in my hands right now from my driveway, Rollins says there's been a lot of conjecture and simply put rubbish written about it, people making stuff up. But I'm not going anywhere. I have a long-term contract with the club, and I want to see it reach its ambitions and its goals. Okay, here's my beef with people being interviewed.
Okay,
because I've interviewed thousands of people over 20 years in television. Thousands. All right? No one's ever going to tell you on the record, I don't like where I am. They don't. They don't say anything like that. So
unless they have one foot out the door.
Unless they have one, not even if they have one foot out the door. They're not going to tell you that. If I go interview Phil, which I've not been able to do yet because he hasn't been around, and
I don't think this segment's going to help your cause.
I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care if it doesn't help my cause. I think that, people, listen, this guy right here, Phil Rollins, is the reason Orlando City soccer is on the map.
Yes.
Okay? I am a fan of Phil Rollins. I am not a fan of Flavio da Silva Augusto. And
I think you got that mixed up. I think it's Flavio Augusto da Silva, isn't it?
Yes, I got that mixed up.
If you're going to rip the guy, at least get his name right.
I got Flavio. I've his four names wrong, but he's buddies with Kaká. They're all from Brazil, and they're all hanging out together. All right, so Kaká goes. He makes $7 million a year. I don't like Adrian Heath. Let's get rid of him. Okay. Phil Rollins, I'm telling you right now, is not going to go on the record with George Diaz or anybody in the media and say that. He's just not. So when I read these quotes, when I read this stuff. I think it's nonsense. So I think it's just complete nonsense.
You're saying that you're just guessing here. You don't have a source that says Kaká is the reason he's out.
Yes, I do. I've talked to people that are friends with Phil Rollins, close friends with Phil Rollins, and said I'm dead on the story. Kaká's not happy. Flavio wants a new head coach. He writes the checks. He paid $70 million to get into Major League Soccer. Right, he's the money man. He's privately funding the new soccer stadium. So what I'm saying is, when you interview athletes or CEOs of teams or general managers of teams, that's why you sit there and you ask them questions. It's all nonsense. I could ask Rob Hennigan stuff. He's not going to tell you. So the real story comes out eventually from people that concerning these people you're talking about. This goes back 4 years ago. We were just talking about Dwight Howard and Stan Van Gundy. I did a story April of 2012 that I reported on a couple days prior, Stan confirming my story that, in fact, Dwight Howard went to Magic Management at the time and wanted him fired the season before the season started. So the 2012 off season, or the 2011 going to the 2011-2012 season, he went up to Michigan, wanted Stan fired. DeVos did not want him fired. Somebody told me that story. Multiple people told me that story. I reported that story. Stan, 2 days later, after the story kind of was out there on the internet, being reported on previously, on ESPN, the bottom of the screen, the next day they were playing the New York Knicks. Stan confirmed the story, created that awkward interview.
The greatest press conference of all time.
Now, if Stan doesn't confirm that story, it's just conjecture like Phil Rollins is saying. Right?
Right.
So it's the same thing. Phil's not going to go, yeah, Ping's right or anybody else is right about the matter. So when you interview these guys, it's just coach speak. It's nonsense.
Except for Stan, who's a straight shooter.
Stan's a straight shooter, and the reason Stan did that, because he knew he was going to get fired. Stan at that point thought he was going to get fired from the franchise no matter what. So you know what he did? He put his star out there and said, screw you. I am going to say this story is true. I'm not going to talk around it because Stan's a straight shooter. Phil Rollins, I love Phil Rollins. This isn't a passive aggressive thing, but he's not going to give you the straight skinny of what's going inside the front office there. Period. You could say what you want to say. I know people very close to Phil Rollins that said my story and what I've said on News 6 over the last couple of weeks is dead on. There's a problem there in the front office. Listen, I bet you people don't even realize that. Look at he even said he had a contract. There are people that think he's the owner, by the way.
Well, he does have a minority stake.
Okay, but very minority. He could be blown up at any point. But now, Flavio, if he did that, would be a major mistake. Lots of nonsense there.